So hello everyone, and today welcome to join our webinar. And today's webinar is about crystal clear membrane filtration for clean label juice processing. And me and my colleagues, we will share with you some knowledge we have about juice processing and how it can benefit you from as juice processors perspective. And today's webinar will be available in 2 languages, in English and in Spanish. And each slide, we will have our colleague, either Piotr or Samsung, they will present in English. And end of the slide, my colleague Julio, he will translate to Spanish. So for people for all of you who are able to speak only Spanish, here we have Julio who can translate for you. And first of all, let us to do a brief introduction of each of us. I'll start by myself. My name is Amelie Xiao. I'm marketing manager at PCI Membranes. And now I'll invite my colleagues to do their introduction. Piotr, please.
Thank you, Amelie. And my name is Piotr Bruzna. I serve the position of Director of Business Development at PCI Membranes. And basically, I'm responsible for product growth as well global partners development.
Thank you, Piotr. Samsung.
Thank you, Amelie. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name is Samson Akambi. I am the process and application manager for PCI, pretty much responsible for providing technical support to the team globally.
Thank you, Samsung. Julio.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Amelie. My name is Julio Furukawa. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Latin America region for PCI.
Thank you, Julio. So just to give you an overview about today's agenda, so we will share with you first who we are as PCI Membranes, what do we do, and how we are able to help you in your juice processing. Then as clean label is really a market trend, and we will share with you what do we know about this, how it's relevant for you, how you can improve your juice processing with a clean label marketing trend. After that, we'll share with you case studies, references, how we have helped our customers to gain their success by using our membrane solutions. Then we will give you more details about how what is our solution like, how you can choose the right membranes for your juice processing. And then finally, we will talk about from processors' perspective, what you can expect to have for the operational impact. Then we will have a Q&A session where you can ask all your questions and we will answer it for you. But before the Q&A session, we have the chat area where you can type all your questions even during the webinar. Anytime you think of a questions, please write in the chat. And then during Q&A session, we will answer them all. And before the Q&A session, I will launch a very short, brief survey just to ask how you think of our webinar. Would you like to discuss more after this webinar? Okay, so let's get it started.
Okay, so one more time, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. And as a PCI Membranes, we are brand of Filtration Group, and we are leading provider of polymeric tubular membranes. With over 50 years of experience in creating membranes for various applications, including food and beverages, wastewater treatment, water treatment, chemical, and pharmaceutical industries, we are also supplying other membrane geometries to the strength deposition in the filtration market. Our production is based in Europe, exactly in Poland, which is Central Europe, and our products meet all sanitary and food safety standards. Our sales team is based worldwide to support our clients better in daily operation.
Bueno, buenos días o tardes. Nosotros de PCI tenemos una presencia global, nuestra fábrica ubicada en Polonia, eh, con mucho la fabricación de membranas tubulares poliméricas, ¿no? Y también hacemos no solo tubulares, pero también espirales y hollow fiber. Las aplicaciones de food and beverage, de alimentos y bebidas, agua, eh, recuperación de agua también, farmacéutica y la industria de papel. Tenemos la presencia en algunos países que están ahí, como Inglaterra, Francia, Italia, Alemania, China, Estados Unidos y Brasil, ahora que estoy ubicado yo. Y todos los productos están de acuerdo con las reglas de FDA europea, que siguen las normas de alimentos y bebidas para Food Contact Compliance. Please, Piotr.
Okay, next slide, Emily.
Yes.
Okay, clean food. So one earlier. Okay, now not this one. Okay, now that one. Clean food. I will be honest with you, it's a new lifestyle. As customers and as I am myself, today I'm more concerned with my personal health and well-being than ever before. Therefore, the clean label juice segment is growing very, very fast, around 7.6% CAGR through 2033, based on the source data intel. Membrane filtration makes possible to have transparent and minimal process line, achieve natural color and flavor, as well be cost efficient. Additionally, membranes can also remove sugar from juice, milk, or other food products.
Thank you, Piotr. Julio, please.
Bueno, acá tenemos, vamos a decir, el principal tema de la presentación, que es el clean label, ¿no? Porque básicamente sabemos que el consumidor hoy en día está eh, muy preocupado con el tema de well-being, la parte de cosas que son saludables, ¿no? Entonces, esto tenemos la posibilidad de hacer jugos que permite hacer la clarificación de ellos y tenerlos así, así como mencionó también Piotro, algunas tecnologías que nosotros estamos trabajando fuerte en la parte de sugar reduction con la tecnología de membrana, que sea para jugos y también para leche.
Okay, next slide. So case studies and references. So we would like to show you some problems, challenges of our clients and how we resolve this. And then we will focus on products. So next slide, please, Amelie. So the challenge of the first case study is that the fact that traditional juice clarification methods, including standard use of ultrafiltration membranes, are inefficient, energy intensive, and produce poor quality of juices, especially when we talk about dark colored juices, because they suffer from significant flux reduction and membrane fouling due to the high content of polyphenols, color, acidity, solids, pectins, etc. What is our solution? Our solution is the open ultrafiltration membrane type 450,000 Dalton's cutoff. They are ideal for dark colored juices like grapes, strawberries, and pomegranate, etc., and can be retrofitted into existing ultrafilter systems without large changes and investments. The benefits of using the PCI 450,000 Dalton membranes are significantly improved performance, better color retention, which is by 30% while maintaining low turbidity of final product. Julia?
Acá un caso que tenemos de un reto. Generalmente las filtraciones de jugos tradicionales tienen un consumo alto de energía y también la parte de flujo un poco bajo por la dificultad y también el tema de fouling en las membranas por los contenidos que hay en el jugo, principalmente los jugos oscuros. Nuestra solución es básicamente reemplazar estas membranas por una membrana de cutoff de 450K Dalton, que esto permite tener un poco más de eficiencia en los sistemas de las membranas, tener un más flujo y también, vamos a decir, un 30% manteniendo la turbidez que necesita. O sea, menos energía, más flujo y con un reemplazo sencillo del sistema existente a nuestras membranas.
Okay. So the second challenge is we always face with questions from our customers is can we extend the shelf life of our membranes? So what's happened? So usually our membranes last 8 seasons. Right now they last only 3-4 seasons. What happened? So this is exactly the second case that we believe that the right suitable membranes for right type of variation of juices will extend shelf lifetime, definitely. So our solution over here is to use an open ultrafiltration membrane. It could be, for example, 450,000 Daltons cutoff, which fits to proceed juices and allows for a range of configuration in existing ultrafiltration systems at customer sites. So you can easily replace with the current using membranes with the right suitable to extend the lifetime of the membrane. Julia?
Ok, acá es continuando la explicación del slide anterior que mencionamos la membrana de 400K Dalton, es nuestra solución también que brinda a ustedes una vida útil más larga de las membranas convencionales que ustedes usan. Entonces, esta es gran ventaja, que no hay el change out lleva más tiempo para pasar.
Okay. And the last case study is about transparency in a clarification process. As all we know, is very limited when you use the stainless steel modules. We as a PCI membranes, we have solution to offer here, and it will be our BPA-free housing, called K19 series. This plastic module has been designed to provide like-for-like replacement in existing ultrafiltration systems while using our best and reliable membranes inside. More details about solutions from PCI membranes will be given by my colleague Samson in the next slides. Samson, now it's your turn after the translation from Julia.
Ok, acá tenemos también el ejemplo de nuestro portfolio, que tenemos las membranas de plástico transparente, que es muy conocida en el mercado, pero con la diferencia que nuestra membrana ya están libre de BPA. Entonces, algo que es un tema que preocupa creo que a los productores de alimentos y bebidas. Entonces, nuestra membrana ya es libre de esto. También tiene una resistencia ahí que ustedes pueden mirar, que hasta las 7 bares y como si fuera, además de las membranas que tenemos ya de stainless steel, de acero inoxidable, esta de plástico para el directo reemplazo a las instalaciones que ustedes tienen con estos diferenciales que mencionamos ahora.
Next slide, please. So from now on, I will be presenting to you our membrane solutions. Can we move to the next slide again, please? So before we proceed, I would like to give you an overview of the typical fruit processing line. From the left-hand side, of course, you are able to see a variety of fruits. But for this particular case, we may focus on apple juice clarification. Of course, from receiving the raw fruit, it's got to go through the processing line of sorting out, the bait, removing impurities, and also washing the fruits. From there, the fruits will then be taken to a press, which is mainly used for the juice extraction phase, in order to increase the yield, from removing the fruits, the juice from the fruit rather. After that, the juice will then be subjected to further treatment phase, which may involve enzyme treatments to remove any traces of pectin. Additionally, we may also have some treatments that may include the addition of bentonite, gelatin, or powder activated carbon as well. This is needed purely to reduce the viscosity of the juice, and also to reduce the turbidity of the juice initially ahead of the membrane filtration system. So you can see on the bottom of the tank on the right-hand side that we have the PCI filtration system, which may involve A19, K19, A37 in tubular geometry, particularly used for juice clarification phase. Once the juice has been clarified, you can either decide to initially subject the clarified juice to some pre-concentration phase with the use of a spiral wound membrane. In this particular case, we are referring to clarified apple juice. Otherwise, we may have to use other geometry like tubular RO for the concentration. So this is pre-concentration ahead of the evaporator. And then from the evaporator, of course, we are able to achieve a concentrated juice approximately with, let's say, 60 to 70 bricks or so. Otherwise, you may have another streams from the UF phase, whereby you're only producing not from concentrate juice. So from the UF, you go through the pasteurization phase and then to the bottling phase. So next to you, Julia.
Ok, acá tenemos un slide que es un flujograma, un general flujograma del proceso de jugos de fruta, zumos o jugos. Entonces tenemos la fruta, cualquier que sea la fruta ahí que haga el jugo, luego la recepción, lavado, después la extracción por prensa generalmente, luego un tratamiento enzimático que sea para romper la pectina o compuestos que provocan algo de amargor. Y luego la filtración, ultrafiltración, que son hechas con muchos tipos de módulos que nosotros tenemos en portfolio. El A19, K19, dependiendo del flujo y de la necesidad de cada una, tomamos la decisión de cuántos módulos, cuál módulo, cuál cutoff vamos a usar. Una vez teniendo esto, vamos a tener el jugo ya tratado y clarificado. Entonces, con esto hay dos caminos. Hay compañías que usan la osmosis para hacer una preconcentración antes de la evaporación y otros que van directo a la evaporación donde se logra la concentración de más o menos 60-65 bricks del jugo concentrado. Y después va a llenar los tambores ahí o va por el otro camino para producción de jugo mismo sin que sea concentrado y la llenadura que sea en botella o cajas, entre otros tipos. Este es el resumen del proceso.
Next slide, please. So, could you go back a bit, please, to the previous slide? Yeah, that's correct. So on this slide, our intention is to present to you the typical membranes that we recommend for the juice clarification phase. Of course, we can classify the various type of juices in different categories, going from ultralight, to light, to pink or dark juices. In relation to the type of juice, we are able to recommend a specific type of membrane that could be used for the clarification phase. You can see we have the so-called FPA10 or FPS10, which is typically a 100,000 Dalton membrane made of PVDF in terms of the material. And with this, we are able to process the ultralight juice, in this case, apple only. And when we're using this membrane, we are certain that we can achieve a turbidity in the region of 0.5 NTU. When it comes to the processing of light juices, in this case, with the inclusion of apple, pears, orange, lemon, peach, and so on. We do have available the FP20, which is a 200,000 Dalton membrane, once again made with PVDF membrane. Using this membrane gives us the ability to achieve a turbidity up to 1 NTU. Whereas if you have the requirement to process pink or dark juices like strawberry, grape, beetroot, pomegranate, and many others, we can also recommend the use of the LP450, which is a 450,000 Dalton membrane, again made of PVDF in terms of the material. And with this membrane, we are certain that you should be able to achieve a turbidity of up to 1 NTU. Furthermore, it is also common for juice producer, to be processing citrus juices. This may include the processing of lime, lemon, or any other sort of citrus. One thing we need to bear in mind that this type of juices may contain a compound known as D-limonene, which may attack polysulfone. When it is the case of processing these particular juices, customers need to bear in mind the risk. But at the same time, we PCI, we are able to recommend a specific type of membrane that could be used for the processing of citrus juices.
Ok, acá tenemos una tabla que más o menos dividimos los jugos en tipos, ultra light, que es ultra leve o más leve, y el otro que es los oscuros y pink, que separamos así. Entonces cada uno tiene su especificación de membrana para hacer la filtración. Los ultralight generalmente de manzana lo usa membranas con un cutoff de 100 kilodalton y logra una turbidez bien baja hasta 0,5 NTU. Los light, que son los leves, entonces ya una membrana un poco más abierta de 200 kilodalton y aún así logra una turbidez de 1 NTU. Y los más oscuros, la membrana que ya hablamos de 450, que también logra los turbidez por 1 NTU. Y un comentario importante es que principalmente en estos tipos de jugos, lo que se dice de limón o lima o otros tipos de jugos así que hay compuestos como de limoneno que atacan muy el material que es la poliéster sulfona. Nosotros tenemos en nuestro portfolio la membrana del cutoff adecuada para eso, pero con el sello, el potting en un material que aguanta eso. O sea, por eso todas las informaciones son importantes cuando hacemos un proyecto para saber no solo el cutoff, el objetivo final de ustedes, pero también la compatibilidad química.
Next slide, please. So, we want to give you an overview in terms of the comparison between the different types of tubular membrane that we supply, going from tubular A19 to tubular A37 K19, but at the same time also comparing these to spiral membranes. More importantly, we need to bear in mind that we are currently talking about juice clarification, for which case spiral membranes is not applicable for juice clarification. Our tubular membranes that we use for juice clarification, they are robust in terms of the construction with double ply membrane tubes. We have the possibility to supply them in the A19 or A37, which is the recordable version in stainless steel housing, or we can also supply in K19, which is not recordable, but in plastic or PPSU housing. So we have the advantage to supply you a solution that are innovative, recordable, and also could help customer regards to cost saving on the long term. How do we compare, the CapEx, the capital expenditure for this product? You can see across the tubular range is quite medium. Of course, the capital expenditure for spiral is low because the structure of the spiral is quite compact. Membrane lifetime, we are certain when it comes to juice clarification, With our tubular membrane, you may achieve something between 3 to 7 seasons. Of course, we are talking about seasons, not years, because juice processing comes by season. As I mentioned, once again, the A19, A37, K19, in this case, they are applicable for juice clarification. We can only use paramembranes for clear apple juice concentration.
Ok, acá una tabla de comparación de las membranas tubulares, del tipo de membrana tubular que tenemos, que cantidad de membrana, otro material de membrana como acero inoxidable o plástico, y también tenemos una columna que se mencionan las espirales. Sin embargo, las espirales solo mencionaba acá para un tema comparativo, pero generalmente el alto contenido de sólidos no se puede filtrar jugos con las espirales directamente. Entonces se usa las tubulares. Eh, Exactamente esta comparación, ustedes ven en la fila de CAPEX que las tubulares tienen vamos a decir, un CAPEX medium y la espiral es más bajo. ¿Por qué? Porque las espirales tienen mucho más área, entonces obviamente el equipo para hacer el CAPEX va a ser más pequeño. Ya el tubular aguanta más sólido, pero tiene menos área, entonces demanda más membrana para tener la misma área. Entonces el equipo un poco más grande, la explicación del por qué. Y acá más o menos vamos a decir, la durabilidad o de las membranas, ¿no? Por cosecha y no por años porque generalmente en jugo de fruta se hace por cosecha, ¿no? Entonces, las espirales tienen una durabilidad un poco más baja comparada a los tubulares que tenemos acá. Next.
So, just to give you an overview of one of the products, in this particular case, A19, you can see the image on your right-hand side, which consists of the A19, basically made of 19 tubes, potted together in epoxy resin, as you can see, and then it can be recalled into a stainless steel housing. And once again, the material of construction for the membrane tube is mainly PVDF. We are able to supply different pore sizes from 20,000 Dalton all the way down to 0.2 micron. In terms of the tube diameter, approximately 12.5 millimeter ID for the tube. The filtration range is in to out. And once again, the A19 is FDA and EU compliance. Furthermore, just to give you an overview in terms of how we construct our membrane tubes, you can see our membrane tubes are made of two tapes with two alternate welding, which enables a more robust structure for the tubes. Whereas most competitors, of course, they may have two tapes at the same time, but with only one welding. By doing so, you are giving your membrane tubes less robustness or less rigidity.
Ok, acá tenemos la presentación del producto A19, que tiene la carcasa de acero inoxidable y 19 tubos adentro ahí con los potting a su extremidad, hecha de PVDF y poliéster. Tenemos grados de filtración de 0,2 micrones hasta 20 cada alto, o sea, un rango de acuerdo con la aplicación que ustedes necesiten. El diámetro interno de 2,5 milímetros. El flujo es inside out o de adentro a afuera, ¿no? Vamos a decir así. Entonces tenemos los materiales que ya mencioné, los sellos y todos los certificados de FDA, CFR21 y Europa y Kosher, como mencionamos. Pero el punto de este slide importante es cómo las membranas tubulares son fabricadas comparadas a las otras que tenemos en mercado, es que son dos, vamos a decir, tapes, pero el modo de construcción de la soldadura es que lo hacen así alternado, y este hecho hace con que la membrana te brinde una resistencia más grande, tanto de eh, presión y un poco más de temperatura que están relacionadas, ¿no?, con la resistencia del material. Entonces es la diferencia de la confección de nuestra membrana tubular.
Next slide, please. So the K19, which is pretty much similar to the A19, but the only difference here is that the K19 is not recoverable. As you can see, the K19 is housed in a transparent housing, which is made of PPSU, polyphenylsulfone, also BPA-free material. As with the A19, the K19 also comprises of 19 tubes, each of 12.5 millimeter internal diameter. Once again, the filtration is in to out. Furthermore, this product is also FDA and EU regulation compliant. The material of construction is similar to A19, and the way we construct that we make the K19 product is similar, as you can see on the right hand side in terms of the tape layer, how the tape layer has been structured.
Que acá nuestra membrana K19, que básicamente vamos a decir si es igual a A19, con la diferencia es que la A19 es una carcasa de acero inoxidable que usted mantiene en tu sistema, y cuando tenga que reemplazar la membrana lo reemplaza solo que está al centro. La K19, ya la carcasa hecha de plástico, al centro de la misma membrana del proceso, pero cuando tiene que reemplazar, lo reemplaza la carcasa toda de plástica entera. La diferencia es que son transparentes, como mencionó Asanso ahí, por un tipo de jugo o quizá una filosofía que cada cliente tenga, que le gusta mirar el flujo ahí adentro. Eh, y el material que nosotros hacemos, como ya mencionado, sigue todas las reglas de Full Contact Compliance, y también la parte de BPA Free, que es un diferencial también.
And then the A37, in this particular case, you can see on the right-hand side some images of the A37, which comprises of 37 tubes in the housing, which is also recoverable as per the A19. So the housing is in stainless steel. Once again, each of these 37 tubes are made of 12.5 millimeter internal diameter. And we have a number of pore sizes available as well, going from 20,000 Dalton to 100,000 Dalton to 100,000, 450,000 Dalton, and 0.2 microns. Furthermore, this particular product is also FDA and EU approved. The way of construction is quite similar to the A19 and to the K19 in terms of the membrane tubes structure.
Acá tenemos también la membrana A37, también muy parecida con 19, pero básicamente en la cantidad de tubos internos que hay adentro. Y para tener eso, obviamente, es una carcasa de diámetro más grande que A19 para que los 37 tubos quepan adentro del housing. El housing, el carcasa, también hecho de acero inoxidable. Y básicamente la membrana tubular, como ya explicamos, tiene todo el rango de cutoff, hecha del material de PVDF, y sigue también todas las normas de Full Contact Compliance ya mencionadas en otros.
So in terms of our portfolio, you can see on the left-hand side, in terms of the tubular membrane range that we can supply, we could go across a range of ultrafiltration. as low as 450,000 Daltons, so the LP450, going up to the CA202, which is about 2,000 Dalton. But at the same time, we can also supply some nanofiltration membrane. In this particular case, we're talking about the AFC30, AFC40. Otherwise, we also supply reverse osmosis tubular membrane. As you can see, the AFC80, AFC99. But when it comes to juice clarification, particularly, we are more interested in the configuration of A19, K19, A37, as you can see at the bottom end. But when it comes to juice concentration, then of course, we may be talking about the B1 configuration, whereas you may use the nanofiltration AFC30 or the reverse osmosis tubular AFC80 or AFC99.
Bueno, acá tenemos una tabla y con también fotos de nuestros productos. A la izquierda ustedes pueden mirar todos los tubulares y rangos que tenemos, ¿no? Un rango grande de ultrafiltración, también nano y osmosis. Y los módulos que hablamos, A19, A37, hay uno módulo más pequeño también que es A5 que está ahí. Al centro tenemos los tipos de membrana también que llamamos de B1 módulos, que son las carcasas que aguantan alta presión cuando ustedes van a trabajar con nanofiltración y osmosis reverse, porque como manejan alta presión, entonces necesitan un tipo de carcasa diferente donde aguanta este tipo de presión. Ese es un tema que me gustaría de hacer un highlight, un destaque ahí, porque PCI creo que es la única que tiene tubulares para nano y osmosis, donde nosotros tenemos ahí el ventaja de desarrollar nuevas aplicaciones, como ya mencionamos, Piotr mencionó, por ejemplo, de reducción de azúcares en el jugo o en el leche, porque solo el cutoff de nano nos permite hacer eso. Entonces, con esto, creo que es una ventaja que nosotros tenemos ahí para brindar ustedes que son clientes con esta tecnología.
Next slide, please. So, just to give an overview regarding juice concentration, as my colleague commented just now in Spanish, the concentration of juice can mostly be done by reverse osmosis. But at the same time, we also have the possibility of supplying nanofiltration membrane. It all depends on your requirements. We certainly know that pre-concentration ahead of evaporator is a major step, because that could significantly improve the process in terms of your capital, and also in terms of capital expenditure, CapEx, but also in terms of the operating expenditure. Furthermore, we know that simply by using evaporator to concentrate the juice could have some negative impact on the product in terms of the taste, in terms of some of the components that may vaporize. If we use reverse osmosis tubular or spiral membrane, we are certain that we can retain some of the most important compounds in the juice, and also we are certain that we can reduce your capital expenditure and also your operating expenditure significantly.
Acá un ejemplo de concentración de jugo usando la osmosis reversa, y es un alternativo como miramos en el flujograma ahí, que es un camino. Muchos clientes echan directo el jugo en la evaporadora, pero otros usan la osmosis como un alternativo que tiene sus ventajas en términos, quizá en términos de costo de energía contra el vapor de la evaporadora, y también algunos temas de propiedad organoléptica, porque pasa menos tiempo haciendo la concentración en la evaporación. Básicamente esto.
So I will leave the next part of the presentation to my colleague, Piotr. Please, could you take over from here?
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, the operation impacts you can expect for clean juice by using PCI membranes products are. So next slide, Emily. So PCI membranes can run longer before the feed flow drops close to the flow alarm by achieving for higher yield before deafiltration and with less deafiltration water use. And there is lower risk of tube blockage. The other part is that as a result to improved water recovery rates, we can achieve 95% subject to solids level. With our K19 series, the downtime in maximum is 30 minutes, while our competitors' membranes average 90 minutes of downtime per incident. And the last, our membranes allow to run at higher pressure, up to 7 bar, which is around 100 psi, which is 35% increase in operational pressure, especially needed when the UF membranes are old and don't perform very well.
Acá solo para resumir, creo que hicimos y hacer un destaque en algunas ventajas de nuestros productos. Entonces, la primera ahí es que tenemos un alto porcentaje de recuperación en comparado a los otros, ¿no? También el tema también de tiempo y mermas. Y el tercero es de acuerdo con las características de la construcción de la membrana, tenemos un producto que aguanta una presión más grande y también un poco más de temperatura, que puede llegar hasta un 35% comparado a los productos tradicionales que conocemos en el mercado. Entonces, son los diferenciales de los productos que fabricamos nosotros.
So now we'll come to our QA session. While we go through the questions we received during this webinar, I'll launch a survey, which probably only take you 1 minute to answer. Basically, to please let us know if you will be interested to get contacted after this webinar, so our experts can explain more how we are able to help you with your juice processing. I'll leave it on the screen, and meanwhile, we will take this time to answer all your questions. So the first question we received, can tubular membranes work with lemon juice and remove bitterness?
So I can answer these questions. So tubular membranes are not possible to remove bitterness of lemon. So usually it's done either downstream or upstream. So by using enzymes like naringinase or limonade, they can easily be able to break down the bitter components. That is typically to use. Other possibilities by added active coal or by absorb by ion exchangers. But membranes cannot remove the bitterness, unfortunately.
Thanks, Piotr. The next question, can I run long hours on PCI membranes products?
I think also I can answer this one too. So typically, the operators are running to achieve set number of processing hours. This is typical approach, and this is also, I would say, one mistake concept, because typically process guarantees are based on a specific set of feed conditions to achieve a certain yield. And when the starting conditions have higher solids and or lower temperature, viscosity of the feed increases faster to shorten the processing cycle. The process cycle finish based on which limit reach first, either the maximum suspended solids or the minimum feed flows, something like that.
Thank you, Piotr. And then we've got a couple of questions as to enzymatic treatment during juice processing. first question is, for dark color juices, do you recommend using an enzymatic cleaning step?
Yeah, I can step in here. I mean, certainly, I think the first important part is to look at the pre-treatment phase involved in the juice clarification. I think our recommendation is typically for customers to adopt enzymatic treatment ahead of the membrane system. The reason behind this is basically to break down, the pectin, also some other starch compounds, or even looking at absorption of some polyphenols or proteins or fibers or whatsoever. We know that completing an enzymatic treatment helps significantly the membrane, because more importantly, if the juice is not depectinized, the production capacity on the membrane system is going to reduce at least by 30%. So, having the ability to do some enzymatic treatment ahead of the membrane is important. That's our recommendation for customers. In most instances, even with enzymatic or without enzymatic treatment, when it comes to the cleaning the membrane system, although the tradition is to implement a cleaning that involves using caustic and sometimes caustic plus sodium hypochlorite, mostly to break down the organic foulants. We have seen that it is often beneficial as well to use some enzymatic CIP. This may involve the use of an Ecolab product known as Ultrasis 67, together with Ultrasis 69, which is a combination of enzyme and alkaline detergent, which can significantly help with the further removal of any pectin from the membrane layer, therefore improving the filtration furthermore.
Thanks, Samson. Then one more question. Is it mandatory to have enzymatic treatment prior to filtration? What are the implications if there is no enzymatic treatment?
I mean, as I just commented, I think mandatory is not the time to use, but we recommend to implement enzymatic treatment prior to the filtration phase. If the enzymatic treatment is not completed, we have seen by experience that the fluxes or the production capacity on the membrane system could reduce by at least 30%. So to avoid this, it is better to complete an enzymatic treatment before membrane.
And also that will improve the shelf lifetime of the membranes in overall. Because the pectin or any kind of components which will be built up on the membrane surface will be permanent, so will be not possible to clean during the CIP steps. So the lifetime of the membrane will be longer with enzymatic pre-treatment. But it's not mandatory, but recommended by our side.
Thank you. The next question also as to enzymatic treatment. How does your membranes handle incomplete enzymatic treatment? For instance, pectin degraded, but other polysaccharides not?
Well, I mean, I think regarding the completion or incomplete enzymatic treatment, first and foremost, we PCI do not supply any enzymes or any other chemicals that could be used as a pre-treatment. However, we do collaborate with some producer that can supply enzymes for the pre-treatment, who can recommend the accurate dosage that could be used for the complete degradation of of pectin or starch, some other sugars that needs to be removed. If, of course, there is inability to complete the enzymation process. We know that, as my colleague mentioned just now, Piotr, that may also have an impact on the effectiveness of the production on the membrane, but it also can have an impact on the shelf life of the membrane. So it all depends on, how complete or incomplete is the, enzymatic treatment.
Thank you, Samson. Thank you, Piotr. Next question. Do you have experience producing clarified juices from juices obtained from centrifugal decanters? Is it possible? What are the main difficulties?
Yes, so we have experience with high solid juices, even with the, I would say, 20 to 30% in the feed. So the downtime of using such pretreatment is that you achieve very quickly the maximum level of suspended solids. So this is something which also limit the number of modules per pathway. We are saying that 60% is the maximum suspended solid chloride, but if you lower the number of modules in series, then you can go even up to 80%. So it's 4 times suspended solids concentration. So it is possible to run, but for sure it's not helping the larger amount of solids in the feed for better performance. So it's if you achieve typically 2%, then you can concentrate 30 times to achieve 60% at the end of the process. If you want to add something, Samson, please feel free.
No, I think you've covered pretty much everything. I guess the content of solids following the juice extraction phase, either using press, decanter, or centrifuge, or something else, that'll have an impact on the design or in terms of the recovery rate that could be achieved on the membrane system. So we have experience processing different type of juices with different level of solid, and we also have experience designing for these systems.
Thank you both of you. Then one more question, as far as I see it, it will be the last question. How do you select number of tubes we should use for our applications?
That is a very good question. So all depends of the type of juice, of the pulp, of the Brix level, and then you can select the right cutoff of the membranes and then the right number modules per pathway. So it is possible. So generally it's 12 modules per pathway, but if you have high solids load, could be even 4 modules in series only. So it all depends of the type of the juice, and if we can get such data, we can easily suggest what could be the optimal design to achieve to have lower footprint, but also to achieve the higher performance of the system.
Thank you, Piotr. I think basically we've got all the questions we could answer. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate.
There is 2 more, Amelie. If you click on the open.
Oh, there's just a new one coming. Okay,
new one,
is this Tanjishu or that in filtration?
We are using cross flow, tangential filtration. Yeah.
So we are using cross flow, but we are working in batch mode. Batch mode would be top up batch mode, but this is cross flow filtration process, not dead end. So we continuously produce permeate, clarified juice, and concentrate the pulp, and then we need to dispose later on. But this is cross flow.
Okay, thank you, Piotr. I think we've got all the questions. And meantime, I will terminate the survey. I see we have some interest after the webinar. We'll be very happy to help you to answer more your questions or provide details to help you how we can help with your juice processing.
Amelie, there is last question about Parker Hannifin.
We're not able to answer it during the webinar. Okay. So sorry for that, but there will, if any news that will be open to public, we'll be sharing later on our public channels.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I will be sending a replay on our LinkedIn account as well. So you're welcome to review it if you want after the webinar. Thank you for joining again. I hope this webinar is beneficial for you, and I wish you have a good day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your
Thank
attendance.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You. Bye.